Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I missed you last week, but I am back today. Welcome to today's podcast, the Karen Smith Frazier podcast, episode number 79. 6 steps to decrease and manage your stinkin thinkin. Have you ever been on a roll in life? Relationships are good, body feels strong, work is going well, and then out of the blue, a thought pops up. But what if, and then you insert a negative scenario that has not happened, but could happen, maybe. Now, thoughts can aid us, they can support us, and they can derail even the best of plans. And so today I'm going to give you a few tips to handle those moments when your thoughts, especially the negative ones, want to rule the day. But before I jump in, I want to welcome everybody again, and please let me know where you're tuning in from. And I will look forward to seeing your comments. If you like something I say or it gives value, then just let me know. It is helpful for me to hear what you like, what you don't like, what makes sense, what clicks, etc., etc. And I am also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and we'll go from there. So I'm Coach Karen, and I help strong, capable men and women who know they are meant for more stop settling, make the courageous decisions they've been postponing, and confidently step into their next chapter without guilt, fear, or apology. So essentially, I help people act on what they already know is true, to find the courage to make the decisions they've been avoiding. After working as an RN for 30 years and in the school system for 15, I had the privilege to support students and families with preventive health, crisis prevention, and during crisis. But little did I know that it would be my own crisis that would change the trajectory of my career. A car accident and a bonk on the head made it very difficult to avoid what I had been putting off for a while. For years, I had been feeling a nudge to move on from my nursing career. It wasn't one thing that pulled me in that direction, but it was more of a discomfort that the routine and predictability, well, nursing, let's say, predictably unpredictable routines, kept me safe. They were familiar. I was good at it, so why rock the boat? The accident essentially pushed me to face my fear of change and the unpredictability of making a career move at my age. It also reminded me that fear had long held me back from stepping into situations, conversations, and decision-making rooms. That fear and hesitation made it difficult to advocate for myself or share my thoughts and opinions without watering them down to keep others comfortable. I'm still challenged with the same today, but am more aware and intentional with how I handle these thoughts that, if allowed, will go rogue. Does anybody feel me? So today I'm going to give you some steps on how you can stop negative thinking fast before it takes over your mind. And these tips I got from Bookly Reads and just kind of put them in my own words. So number 1, catch it instantly. Negative thoughts grow when unnoticed. I often say notice what you are noticing. Take a moment to remind yourself that this is just a thought, not reality. especially when it has something to do with the future or things you really have no facts about. Why did they react that way when I came into the room? They don't like me. Well, how do you know they don't like you? Sometimes we jump to the negative conclusion because of our own fear and insecurity. There's no judgment, but I want you to be aware and notice what you're noticing. Number 2, interrupt the pattern. You can't think positive while stuck in a negative state. So you kind of have to break the mood. And you can try this by maybe going for a walk, splash some water on your face, shift your environment, go into another room. And one of my favorites is to focus on gratitude. It takes the negative energy and transforms it into the positive. You start to put energy to the positive, and oftentimes positive will find you. So, take a pattern break, a thought break. All right. Number 3, replace, don't remove. Well, I say that because you can't really just stop your thinking. You can try swapping the thought from, I can't do this, to, I'll figure this out. And this reminded me just of replacing a thought of when my son was about 3 years old. And I'd say I was a bit more insecure at that time. Even at 3, you're still learning. I was still learning how to mother and how to, take care of the house and my family. And I remember saying something like, gosh, Karen, that's so dumb. Or something negative about myself. And my son said, don't say that, mommy. And it made me think, if my 3-year-old can detect negative thinking and know that what I'm saying is not true, then I think we can do the same thing. So replace the script. Focus on, notice it, notice the thoughts, and whether or not they're true or not. In your core, whether or not they're true or not, and replace them. If you can't, say something positive, then at least think of something in your mind that's give you some gratitude, like my sons. Number 4, focus on facts, not fear. A lot of negative thinking is related to assumptions of what might happen, what could happen, what has happened. So essentially, it's not about the present moment. It's thinking of the future or what has happened in the past. So we can ask ourselves, what are the actual facts? Most fears don't have evidence or facts to back up the fears. So take a moment. Is this something that I should be worried about right now? Or am I able to focus on the here and now? It takes practice, but we can do it. Number 5, limit mental triggers. Now, a lot of times we're in situations where we can't just change our environment because, I got to go to work, or I live in a family, live with other people. But we can reduce the negative content. Sometimes that may mean literally moving to another room. If you're in a room where just folks are just super negative, they don't have anything nice to say about anything. They are talking about all the negative things in the news. It doesn't mean we avoid being up to date and informed, but there are just certain people that have a negative energy. They complain about everything. And it could be legitimate things they're complaining about, but they're not taking any action either. So, and then there are others who, you may find yourself comparing yourself to how other people are doing, and you're not, and those kind of things. So it all really goes back to that noticing what you're noticing. But limiting those mental triggers, those either people, news, just environments that invite negativity, notice it and feel that discomfort. It's not a good feeling. And I want you to feel better. I want to feel better. So sometimes I have to remove myself from that situation. So I want you to protect your mind. And number 6 is give it a time limit. Overthinking loops because it's endless. If we get in a funk, it's easy. Like if I am in pain, then I'm thinking about, oh man, I don't feel good. I'm not going to be able to do this or that. Uh, what if, what if this doesn't go away? And it's easy to get in that loop and stay in that loop. And then I start to think, you know what? I'll take my 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes to kind of be in it. But then you got to make a decision to move on. Like I woke up today, I'm able to do this podcast. I have people who love me in my life. All those things that really help life be worth living. And so thinking doesn't solve, action does. Like being in the moment, be in the moment. You bang your knee on the edge of a table, it gives you immediate thoughts and maybe a few choice words. It's not expected that you would ignore those thoughts. But where do you go from there? After the initial sting wears off, do you throw the table out that you bumped into? Do you wear knee pads around the house or move the table? Or are you more careful walking around the house? So, we can't ignore our thoughts. Thoughts don't just vanish, but being more aware of them is what I'm encouraging you to do. So those 6 tips were: 1, catch it instantly. Those negative thoughts, notice what you're noticing. Number 2, interrupt the pattern. You start to notice what you're noticing. He's like, oh, this isn't heading in a good direction. Am I thinking about the future or the past, or am I thinking about the present moment? So interrupt that pattern. Number 3, replace. Don't remove. We can't just erase our thoughts and make them go away, but we can decide, again, to take action to look at another perspective. And number 4, focus on facts, not fear. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. And just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Number 5, limit mental triggers. If there's certain folks that just bring in a negative vibe and or the news, turn it off. Stay informed, but don't soak in the negative reporting, the negative news. That can drag you down. So limit your mental triggers. And number 6, give it a time limit. We can't avoid things that happen that either make us sad, mad, just bring us down. But we can, again, decide how long we're going to stay in that. I don't want you to wallow in anything that's not feeding you, not feeding your light. But the reality is stuff happens. But give yourself a moment. And if you need to set a timer, set a timer. I don't want you to wallow in. So give yourself a time limit. So essentially, if you can't remember all 6, the 2 biggest takeaways I want to leave you with are: 1, train your mind daily. Notice what you are noticing. Notice what you are noticing. And the second one is to decide to take action. And that can be focusing on something that is life-giving, gratitude, what you've done well, what you're doing well, and the times that you've done things without having all the facts and went for it. Those times you felt brave and courageous. All right, let me just see if there's anybody tuning in today. All right. Thanks for joining in. All right, thanks for joining in from Washington, D.C. Appreciate you. Let me know if this was of value. And I'm hoping that it just gives you something to think about and a way to start your day, whatever part of the day it is. And if you like the podcast, let me know. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube, and that way I can, keep you informed as to what's going on. And if you would like to get on my mailing list, please direct message me, and I will be able to give you information on upcoming events and other things that I'm up to. In the meantime, I wish you a good day. And as always, unleash your brilliance, uncover your light. The world is waiting for you. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you later.